Okay, last week was Sonax, Brilliant Shine Detailer. This week is going to be Mother's Spray Wax. This is the new formula. It's supposed to be extra slick or something. Haven't seen too many reviews, but there's one reviewer, I can't think of his name, that said it was really slick. So I bought it online only, Home Depot. $12 for 2 bottles of 14-ounce liquid here. That's pretty good. If you have military discount, I did. Veteran was $10.80 for 2 of these. 14 ounces each, or 24, excuse me. 24 each, 2 of these. So I wasn't too happy with this. I like slickness, especially on a weekly car wash. Also, I feel like slickness usually helps a little bit better with hard water stains, because I have a sprinkler that does get on my cars. It's winter, not an issue now, but not necessarily slickness protects you from that, but I find sealants that have slickness do tend to do better in that regard. I will say though, last night I was taking out the trash and the street lights were reflecting on my old minivan, 26-year-old paint, untouched as far as polishing, and it really looked shiny from an angle. So I'm going to say that this is Brilliant Shine for sure. And then I think it was DIY Georgia. I have to look that up. I'll put it in underneath here. He said that this is going to, he or she said this is going to add incredible beading. So I'm not doing any long-term tests. I'm just doing a general weekly car wipe down after a car wash. I'm just throwing my opinion in there on this stuff. So if I was to use this again, I would water it down 50-50 with water. Make it less slick. I've got a 100% concentration application already, and I would just use 50-50 in the future. But today is going to be this guy. So this guy on top of here. Now, before I get to the car wash, it's a private car wash. I'm not going to do a lot of filming and talking. It's going to be Fast 5 Express, which is a mechanical touch car wash for my minivan. It's not going to be touchless like I do for the other 2 cars I have. But I'm going to tell you right now, I love the smell of this. It's probably my number 1 smell. And it's the same as this right here. So if you've ever smelled their carnauba. So it's probably an artificial carnauba smell. I don't think this is going to have a lot of carnauba in it. It's probably artificial, but it's a nice sweet, almost like a honeycomb smell to it, but different than honey. I think it's supposed to be carnauba. So, which makes sense. Love the smell. And maybe this is my favorite right now. I'll show you my second favorite now. This was my first. It's going to be this guy. It's like a Midori green melon smell. So I'm not a big guy on smells. I want products to work. But yeah, but I do like it. See you at the car wash. Okay, I just got done with the car wash. I'm just going to give you my initial impression on the hood, and then I'll go around the whole car and talk a little bit more about this Super Hydro. Let's see how slick it is on application and then dry off. This is my 26-year-old hood. Never been polished. Very liquidy, very thin. Really enjoy the smell of this stuff. And wipe it in. Probably too much as usual. So the wipe off is okay. It's definitely a thin wipe on, excuse me. Not particularly slick. Again, this paint's not the most slick to begin with. Okay. And the primary purpose of this on a weekly car wash is to get rid of the water spots, add a little protection and shine, of course. Now, this is, I'm going to put this in the decent category, I guess. Not super slick, but definitely adding some slickness on the dry off. Overall, a pleasant experience so far. All right, I'll do the rest of the car and talk to you in a little bit. Okay, I've gone around the whole car. I'm down to the last panel. I've done the quarter already, the quarter panel. So I'm just going to do this last door and my thoughts on it. I'm going to put a lot more than I probably need. And I'm going to give this a thumbs up for sure, especially for a weekly application after a car wash to get the spots off. It's thin enough so there's very little resistance as you're wiping it wet. And then on the dry off, it's nice and slick. Not the slickest product. Ethos Resist is the slickest I've ever had on a dry off. But of course, you're not going to use that at full concentrate every week. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and do Ethos Resist next week, and I'll thin it out 50-50 with water, DI water, and we'll compare it. And the smell, I love the smell. I will make a complaint though, it's a little bit too much over time. You know, I say it's too much in the fact that it's kind of a sweet smell, but it's good. It's probably my number 2 now instead of number 1 because of that. Number 1 is the O&R Wash and Wax. Now, this is really nice and slick on this dry off here. Now, somebody complained that I didn't wipe off the Sonax enough. So I don't know. I'm just wiping it off. So let me wipe this off like I just did. It's nice and slick. We'll see if there's any streaks on it a little bit later. And yeah, thumbs up. I'll put a little bit on the glass here. I don't know if I'd use something like this on the glass. I got other recipes for that. Now this glass again is 26 years old. I've got some etching in it. I don't see a lot of stuff's on the inside, and it's just gonna be, I guess when I drive down the street I'll be able to tell if it's kind of hard to see anything. I don't see any residue on there. Let's do the mirror. And let's for the mirror. My only issue with this, because I'm pretty sure it's not a high protection type of sealant, is for me, I do want hard water protection. And some of the best hard water protection is Ethos Resist. So either that or put like a stronger sealant and then do this one every week until you feel like you need to put another coat on. But if you're an average person who's not worried about hard water, this is definitely right now number 1 for wiping down your car, in my opinion, after a car wash. trying to get water spotting and you know, whatever little spots the car wash didn't get. All right, talk to you later. Okay, here's my car afterwards. I'll try to do a comparison video. So most of the shine is going to be from an angle. Looks pretty good. Let's see if there's any dark, yeah, there's a little bit of dark spots. I think most of that's just the paint. So I'm going to agree with the commenter that maybe, or that the Sonax is not as streaky as I presented. But I don't know. I'm going to give this one, this Mother's Spray Wax, a double thumbs up if you just want to get water spots after a car wash, some decent shine every week, probably very little protection, and a nice smell to it, and a nice slick wipe off. It's slick now under my fingers. But I prefer hard water protection. My sprinklers are right there, and the ones in the driveway get my truck and my other car. So, but like I said earlier, maybe a nice strong sealant once a month or so, and then this one every week. But I like to do every, you know, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this is good for hard water too, especially on a weekly basis. So talk to you later. And if it rains, it's Monday. If it rains on Wednesday, I'll show you some water beading behavior. And supposedly Brilliant Shine has really nice beading, and it did not test that. So check out some other YouTube videos on that, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. So it's still raining right now. It's kind of a light rain. And those are the beads. This is going to be the Mother's. It's going to have the most effect because it's on top. And I did put it on my truck, so we'll take a look at that. Here's the beads on the infamous door. Okay, I'll go over to my truck. I just put Mother's Spray Wax, the new formula, on my truck yesterday. I've got other stuff underneath, so it might affect it. But usually whatever's on top is going to be... So these are perfectly round here. Here's the sides. And then I'll go over to my car. So here's my car. I haven't washed it in a week. But this is... the last thing I used was 50-50 water with Defy, Ethos Defy, and a little bit of Ethos Resist in it. I'd say these beads are not quite as good as Mother's. They're bigger. Here's my finger for reference. But it hasn't been washed, so maybe that's affecting it. All right. Kind of unique. There's natural rain in Southern California to see this kind of natural beading as opposed to a water hose. All right. Talk to you later.